Hi guys, welcome back. Welcome to season 2 of The Spotlight with our new name. We were formerly known as Entrepreneurs of the Central Valley, but that was a mouthful, so we did The Spotlight. And with me today, I have Jaqueline Hanson. I don't know if I was about to call you Jackie, sorry.
It doesn't matter.
Jaqueline Hanson from Tasty Morsels. Am I saying
Hey
that
guys.
correctly? Hi, welcome. How are you?
Great, doing great, thanks.
Good, good. Tell me about your business name and what you do.
Okay, so I run a micro bakery named
Hmm.
TC Morsels. I came up with the name years ago when I started brainstorming the idea of having a business. And we call ourselves micro bakeries because we don't have a physical location. We just focused on farmers markets and pop-ups. We do like special events. Personally, I do some special events, more recently some weddings and
Mm.
that kind of thing, graduations, birthdays. I'm at a couple different locations, so that kind of thing. Um,
Wow. Oh my
yeah,
gosh. I actually pulled
yeah.
up because before I get into like asking you more about you and
Sure.
everything, I just
Mhm.
want people to see like what you're doing. So I pulled up some pictures.
Okay,
Oh my goodness, you guys. Okay. Here you can find her on Instagram. This is your logo, so beautiful.
thank
Okay,
you.
do you see that on the screen? What
Yep.
is this sourdough bread?
This is the our new roasted tomato basil garlic sourdough. I just
Oh,
introduced this
oh
earlier
my
in the month,
goodness.
I think.
That
And
looks so
just like
amazing.
gangbusters. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, what about this one here?
That one's called our fougasse.
Okay.
It's kind of like a soft pretzel, but it's just a different shape. Yeah, that one's
Ooh,
a garlic
okay.
parmesan. Those are
These
my
did.
French macarons.
Ooh, are these for 4th of July?
Yes. I did like
Ooh,
a big
okay.
4th of July order.
Yes. And then
Thank
we
you.
have here.
Yeah, those are my featured pastry for the month. Those are my classic sticky roll. This one's the
Ooh.
cinnamon roll, and it
Uh-huh.
has a spice vanilla buttercream that goes with it.
Okay, so those are I wanted to like screenshot your entire Instagram because everything looks so good and I feel like everybody's gonna want to go order.
Oh,
Oh my god. They look so good. I mean, it looks
yeah.
they look like they're delicious, but they're also so artistic. You're so creative. You're
Thank
designing all of
you.
this, right? What everything looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh
Mhm.
my goodness. How long have you been baking slash creating? Because it looks like an art form.
Um, it's kind of hard for me to pinpoint a
Mhm.
time. I say that I've been running the business for like on and off for about 10 years.
Okay.
I started in the official capacity with my cottage food operation permit
Okay.
in October last year.
Mhm.
And this is in the height of the pandemic when everything was going south.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was at the time, I was working part time at a restaurant
Mhm.
and I was going to school full time.
Mhm.
And I was also starting to run my business a little more seriously, and it was really taking off. So I thought, okay, this is
Oh,
the perfect time to strike while the iron's hot. And
yeah.
that's when I applied for my permit, and it took a while, but I got it.
Wow.
So,
So from the time you got your permit to where you're at now, how much time went by?
October through
Okay.
July, so however many months that
Oh,
is.
really? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, you really grew like really fast.
yeah,
Yes,
it's
because you're
been,
talented. That's when you know that you have a good product, right?
yeah.
And you're in high demand. So what locations are you in? Or
Okay,
where do you
so
sell? Yeah. Mhm.
mostly, my main markets have been Fort Washington Farmers Market across from Woodward Park.
Mhm.
And then I have one also that runs every other week at
Mhm.
Tesoro Viejo
Mhm.
in Madera off of the 41 going northbound.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
those are both on Sundays, so they're alternating. Uh,
Okay.
and then I do like pop-ups once in a while here and there. I just got invited to join the Clovis Community Farmers Market that we
Wow,
talked
yes,
about.
yes, that's so
Yeah,
exciting. So
I'm
a
super
little bit of
stoked
people
about that
know.
one.
it's such a beautiful location. Like I think
Really,
all the farmers markets are, but I'm so proud that Clovis Community,
right.
Center has that to offer because they have such open, like greener, like landscape
It's
that I'm so glad that
gorgeous.
they're going to use. And I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
really
people
love that
know
they
how.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
when they re-landscaped everything, I remember back when I moved here, it was like an orchard, an orange
Yeah.
orchard, and then suddenly it just became like this casino looking place.
Yeah.
It's really
So
beautiful.
have you got? Are they open now, or are they just getting ready to do that at
Um,
Clovis?
Monday the 19th will be the first day of the
Mm-hmm.
market.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be in its infancy, and we're super stoked about seeing
Mm-hmm.
a new market in Clovis that's other than the
Yeah.
Old Town Clovis Farmers Market. So
Yeah. You're
yeah,
so
really,
busy. I'm assuming that as fast as you've grown, you're going to be in every single location. If you can keep, are you ready for that challenge?
um, I would say yes and no. I've learned that I'm kind of like the kind of person that dives into the deep end really quickly. Like I kind of dive in head first and then I figure it out. But not quite the best approach. Um,
Yeah. I think that's
I've been
okay.
offered
You
a lot of
don't,
opportunities, but it's like I have to take, what I can get and
yeah.
kind of
Mhm.
parcel my time wisely, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, you're doing a great job. I think
Thank
there's
you.
evidence of that on Instagram and your Facebook, which is how people are able to order, which we'll go
Mhm.
over all of that a little bit later in the interview. But right now, I do want to ask you a little bit about your background because the spotlight is Fresno based, and the purpose is to get to know like the micro business owners, small
Yeah.
business owners, this community of people. I think it is important for us to get to know each other. And we briefly chatted about that over
Mhm.
text messages, and I was like so excited that you have those the same mentality, the same value on.
Right.
You place the same value on networking with other small businesses, right? So
Right.
yes, there's competition, but more than anything, we could, as a community, help each other out, right? And
Yeah.
especially with social media marketing,
Mhm.
or right now, post pandemic, everybody seems to be catching on to, oh my goodness, in order to prepare for maybe a next time, I got to get myself online because if you're
Right.
online, that might be
Yeah,
a safety net, right?
for sure.
For your
Yeah.
business. Do you feel that that's true, that that's where we should
Oh,
head? Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been running the business through Facebook this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I built my brand and
Mm-hmm.
met a lot of people. Actually, I've moved around quite a bit in my life. And so I've learned that wherever you go, you really have to create your own little community. And
Yeah.
so really
Yeah.
important. And I've met a lot of amazing people that way. But then
Mm-hmm.
especially with business, you really do have to find like your crew, like your posse, I guess.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I do have that, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
There's always going to be adversity and people that don't want to align with you, and that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I still admire those people. Not a big
Yeah.
deal, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, but there's people whose values align with yours, and I
yeah,
think from the little bit of chatting I've picked up from you that you seem like a very fair and balanced person. I think one of the great things of the Central Valley or the people who live here is that we're very family oriented. I think.
hmm
I used to not be. I recently am, but but I remember I used to say like, "Oh, I can't wait to get out of the Central Valley. Like it's all
oh
about the big cities."
mhm.
But now that I have my daughter, I'm like, oh, I'm so happy I live here. Like it's
Yeah,
the to me it's the town, right, to live in.
really, really,
And
yeah,
yeah, in a lot of I think the community of the Central Valley shares some similar values like
hmm
small business and
hmm
supporting each other and making sure our family is involved in a part of everything we do. And I don't
yeah,
know, I think that sets us apart from like the big business and the big city life, right?
that's so true.
And do
Yeah.
you agree? Yeah.
No, I definitely agree. I feel like that sense of community is within any city that you come to.
Mhm.
It's just more so here because we're less
Mhm.
saturated
Right.
with, the amount of, I guess, different kinds of businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a good variety here, but we're still growing. So
Right.
that's what's so vital, is to kind of find what it is that you're interested in, or what you're trying to, to
Right.
help you really
Right.
go with that. But there's
Yeah.
such a great like canvas of
Yes.
room to
Mm-hmm.
grow, and yeah, lots of
Mm-hmm.
support. I really love
Yeah.
that.
And speaking of support and family, you're the face behind Tasty Morsels. You're the baker, you're the creator, you're the content creator, you're the one, you have so many titles. You're doing so much. You're marketing for yourself. You're doing so much. So as your family, we want to get to know you as the business owner of
Mhm.
this amazing business that you have going, of this amazing bakery. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? You live here in Clovis, I think.
Mhm.
Clovis native, yeah, okay. And
Yeah.
you have your
So,
family.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we could start from the very beginning.
Yes.
I grew up in Australia. I lived there until I was about 12.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay.
yeah, my parents were both uh, refugees from Vietnam. And so they
Wow.
came to Australia, raised my sister and I. And then after so many years, we decided to move over here with the rest of our family. And so I think my work ethic comes from watching my mom. So she's
Mm-hmm.
an incredible woman.
Mm-hmm.
She grew a business from nowhere, and she partnered with another lady and grew a children's clothing business. So I would come home from school, and I was a latchkey kid. She was always working. She was home, but like I was, letting myself in and doing my own thing. So I would come home and I would hear the sewing machines flying like all the time, and I'd always run errands with her. And so that's kind of where I learned the hustle and just what, how to treat people. And I loved watching her work. I hated it at the time, but like now in hindsight, it was really just inspirational. So I feel like a lot of what I do comes from seeing her do what she did and raising
Where
a
is she
family.
now?
She's in Silicon Valley.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so she
Okay.
lives out there.
Wow. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
the rest of my family lives out there.
Mm,
And then my husband's family lives this way.
okay.
So we decided to kind of live closer to this side of town.
Hmm. You're an international woman. Like,
Yeah, I kind of am.
yes, yes, you are.
Least you
You
judge me so far, but
understand.
I mean, it's been a fun
Yeah.
ride.
Do you feel settled in here, or do you still get a little bit restless? Because you know what it's like to live in another country, like, in other
I
cities.
actually really love it here. There are,
Okay.
of course, some things here and there that I'm really not in love with, but I think for the most part, since we're raising a family, it's really a great place.
Hmm.
And I've just kind of woven myself into the fabric of the community. So,
Hmm.
and it's just been really great to like, get to know this town and the people in it.
Yeah.
It's just such a different um, vibe here.
It really is.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Do you talk to your mom about that often? Like, because she didn't live here, right? Like,
No, yeah, she lives in San Jose. She'll
she
visit
always
once
like,
in a while. We do talk.
mm-hmm,
But it's such
mm-hmm,
a different mentality up in
mm-hmm,
the Bay Area compared to here, and it's hard for them to comprehend, what to appreciate and how to appreciate a smaller town.
mm-hmm,
I like smaller towns. For
mm-hmm.
me, I get overwhelmed when I go up there, so I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'll stay here.
Oh. I'm gonna assume that maybe your friends or family from that area always think like you're doing great. You need to come bring that over here to the Bay Area.
I
Do
have
you
been
get that a
asked a few
lot?
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that right now. I think again, it's a saturation situation where like up there are tons of amazing bakeries that I really admire. And I think like in, some kind of scenario where I was next to some place like Acme Bakery, I'd be kind of
Yeah.
like
No, it's okay.
starstruck,
I won't let them anyway. Don't influence her, you guys. She has to stay here. We just found you. So, all this stuff you were
right?
making. Yes. I was
Yeah.
talking to my friend, and to my significant other, my
Mm,
boyfriend. And I was like, I'm so excited to interview her. Like, so people who like to travel, like,
mm,
I know a lot of my friends that I have a lot of friends that they just travel everywhere. One
Mhm.
thing that we all have in common is like we don't necessarily yes, we want to explore, we want to be somewhere else, breathe different air, see a different side of
Right.
the
Yeah.
oceans,
Mhm.
meet different waterfronts, like the culture. But one thing we all always agree on is we want to find the best bakery so we could drink our coffee in the morning and have a good bakery. And so
Right.
when I saw your page, it literally gave me like flashbacks to all those moments where I'm just like,
Oh,
oh, I'm going over here this time
awesome.
or that, like. And so a lot
Yeah,
of your
for sure.
products like gave me that feel, and so I really appreciate that from you.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
super
what I'm going
creative.
for. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when I tell people all the time, and I tell other CFOs, cottage food operation people that are coming up,
Mm-hmm.
really anytime that I know somebody's business is coming up, I'm going to take them under my wing and be like, okay, this is what you're up against.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here in your corner if you need me.
Yeah.
But one of the things is, it's just you're creating and you're offering more of a service rather
Right.
than a product. Like your
Right.
product has to be good, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
the way that you make people feel when you're with
Yeah.
them, when you
Mm-hmm.
talk to them, when you text them even,
Mm-hmm.
so essential to
Mm-hmm.
everything. And it
Mm-hmm.
all just trickles down.
Well,
So
that artistic form and that passion that you
mhm,
have, it's evident and it shows. So I
thank
think you
you.
deserve to know that it's happening and it's
Yeah.
working and your intention is manifesting because it just looks amazing. And I haven't even tried it, but I know that I'm gonna be like, hey, this is my weekly
We'll get
stop.
you there, girl.
Okay. So, would you say, do your kids like your baking? I know kids tend to be pickier eaters.
Oh
Do they
yeah.
appreciate that they have a mom who does this stuff? Like,
I think so.
yeah.
I think so. I mean, yeah, they're kind of probably tired of eating my baked goods all the time. However,
Oh.
I'll be in the kitchen making soft pretzels or cinnamon rolls. My sons will be like, "What is that? Where's
Yeah.
mine?" It's like, hold on.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
any leftovers, Let's take care of
Yeah.
these orders first.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they know my food very well,
Yeah.
and
Oh
they're
my God.
actually pretty picky about bread. My
Mhm.
husband, I don't know if he's just exaggerating. He says it all the time that my kids don't eat any other bread other than mine.
Oh, I don't think he's
If I had a choice,
exaggerated.
it'd
I
be
think
mine.
that's true. You're so
Yeah.
modest. What
Wow.
would you say
Yeah.
is what inspires you? How do you decide like I'm gonna create like the pictures I showed earlier on the screen here of some of your
Mhm.
baked goods? Like how do you come up with the concept, the flavors, the shapes and designs? Like how do you do all that? I mean, because I get stuck at making pancakes or like instant pancakes. Like I'm
There's an
like,
art
wait,
form to pancakes though for sure, but it's simple. The simpler it is, sometimes the harder it is.
yeah.
For me, I really just love a good challenge.
Mhm.
The bakery really started really forming when I was working in an office in a call center, and we'd have the same crew. Shout out to
Mhm.
my CSD people.
Yes.
uh, So I'd always bring banana bread in all the time. Like every week, I'd always
Ooh.
bring in like,
Mhm.
classic banana bread, and I'd have like my mix-ins. I'd do like a pina colada one or
Mhm.
whatever, and they were
Mhm.
always all about it. So like that was just like my base. And I would
Mhm.
sell like, when I started selling, that was like huge. Everybody loved it.
Yeah.
But for me, I just kind of, I don't know, I find challenging recipes and then
Mhm.
I work them until I've mastered them.
Yeah.
Sourdough and macarons each took me about 2 years to figure out. So
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
a
And
lot
the
of
coloring on the macarons too, right? Because like
yeah,
the 4th of July ones you did, those are two tones, right? Two
those are
different
three.
colors.
Mhm.
Three? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Those are actually I just recently mastered that technique, and it took me quite a while.
wow.
A lot of
Wow.
hand throwing, I'll say. A lot of feeding friends failed macarons, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's amazing. Yeah. So those are things that people go to bakeries for, or
right.
again, when they're out of town, like that's the first thing people go
Oh
is to
yeah,
like specialty, pastries.
right,
In Central Valley, we have a lot of common things here. We have,
right. Yeah,
we have a lot of Mexican bread. We have a lot of like, you know, supermarket bakeries, and we have a lot of little bakeries here and there too, you know, croissants and stuff like that. But like,
Right.
I would like to say that your stuff is unique. You know, I'm a pastry person. I used to not be. Now I am. When you know, like, and I like spend all my time, all the time when we're out and about. It's like, let's try this bakery. Let's try
Right.
this.
Yeah.
You know, and so
Mhm.
I can tell you that your stuff is pretty unique. And
Yeah.
you know, and the presentation is great. So we want more of that. And I'm so glad that you're here.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah.
at towards the end of this, we'll do a recap where everyone can find your stuff.
Okay.
So, all right. So first, I want to ask you. Okay, we talked about your inspiration and your creative process. I want to talk about the top 3 most sold out items in when you go to the farmers market.
Okay. Right off the bat, it's always my sourdough, and
Okay.
which is actually a very different style. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
seen a lot of people doing the softer crust.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I prefer it to be a little more tender. I feel like sourdough
Okay.
can be on the rustic side. It's quite
Mm-hmm.
tough sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and I like to toast it up and do different things with it. So I think like having a softer texture gives it that freedom.
Ooh,
Challah
okay.
bread, yeah, challah bread is my other one. Actually looks like this. I have visuals today.
Oh yes, please.
Show and tell.
Yes, 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 yes.
Hold on.
So this is what is this? Can you say that again?
It's challah bread.
Calibre.
Looks like this.
Oh my God! Look
Actually,
at that.
nice
That is so
display loaf.
beautiful. Look at
I
my
made this and then I dried it out.
Mhm.
So no, I don't have random bread. I don't keep my orders in my bedroom, just to let you know.
This is show and
um,
tell. It's okay. You want to see everything.
Storage.
Yes. That's
um,
amazing. What
yeah,
flavor
this
is
one.
that? What would you say? How would you describe what it tastes like and the
So
texture?
this one is the way that I describe it at market is it's a Jewish honey bread, and
Mm,
it's got eggs in it. So
okay.
it's similar. I guess the texture would be like a more hearty brioche, but
Mm-hmm.
not quite
Okay.
as rich and like sweet. It's got a
Mm-hmm.
sweetness to it, but it's not super overpowering, and it's perfect for
Ooh, yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds so good. Oh my gosh. What else
yeah,
do you have back there?
yeah.
What else do you Okay,
So
so your sourdough and the halal. Oh my goodness, I
the
can't
challah,
pronounce it. Challah,
challah.
okay.
Hmm.
Challah,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
spelled Challah. I can spell it.
oh, I can't
So
pronounce.
that
It's
one,
okay.
yeah, that one. Those are my top sellers. I'd say if you're
Ooh,
going to the
okay.
farmers market, you need to get there early because I can
Yeah.
only make so many,
Yes,
even when I'm at the
yes,
kitchen.
yes.
No, mostly it's just me, and I haven't quite been able to teach anybody how to do it yet. I'm not quite at that
Oh,
level
yeah.
of teaching people just
Mhm.
yet. So
Mhm, yeah. So first come, first serve,
yeah,
basically,
first come,
right?
first
Yes.
serve. Those two
Yes.
always sell out quick.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
this is my other one. This is my other display.
Ooh, how cute are those? Oh my goodness.
These are
Yeah.
my soft pretzels. Again, this is my dried out display. I don't keep random pretzels in my room. Not normal unless I'm eating them. So yeah, those are. I think these like this is my signature. When I thought of
Ooh,
doing
yes.
soft pretzels, because I didn't see a whole lot of small businesses doing them. I think like
No. Mm-mm.
there's one in Selma that I love, but they're
Mhm.
all the way in Selma.
Yeah.
And there's of course like Annie Ann's and those
Hmm.
places, but
Yeah.
you want that homemade touch.
Oh yes. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So pretzels. Oh.
So
Oh
that's
my God.
great.
What is the like? Okay. I think I want to know, and I'm advocating and representing a lot of people. When is the next farmers market? I can't wait till the end. But I have like a scheduled recap sections where you tell us
Oh
about, but tell us now. Tell us now.
well, you check out the ticker in the bottom too. That's pretty neat. Yeah, so this Friday I'm going to be at Forestiere Underground Gardens.
Okay. Ooh,
That's
okay.
way out there in Fresno, way
Hmm.
like away from where I live.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, but that's really cool. That'll be my second appearance there. They're just in their
Okay.
infancy of doing pop-ups, so I'm
Ooh.
super excited for them.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I had never been there before. my first appearance a couple weeks ago, so it was just an
Mhm.
eye opener, and it's like I was a little bit starstruck when I went down there. I'll have to say
Yeah.
it was really great
Yeah.
just to
Yeah,
get that
it's
picture.
beautiful. Yeah. So
Yeah,
what time is this on Friday?
I'll be there from 5 to 8.
5 to oh, and it's in the evening time. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
it's really nice.
I have
There's
to
gonna
get
be
over
all
there.
sorts of good
Yeah.
stuff. It's gonna be like,
Yeah.
beer and wine, food, lots of amazing artisans, just tons. Like
Mhm.
if you're looking for gifts or anything, like that's a perfect place to
That's
go.
where to go and get right and set up for the weekend, right? To buy
Right.
like your baked goods and stuff too. So
Yeah.
that's
And like,
awesome.
Sunday brunch. Sunday brunch.
Yes,
Sunday
yes, yes, yes.
brunch.
No cooking, no baking for me. I'm gonna go buy them.
Right?
Yes.
So here. Just let me do
So okay,
it.
getting back on topic. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I had to find out. What are your top three favorite items to bake?
For me, let me think.
What's something
Hmm,
that you just get so lost in because it's like so fun for you to like do all the time, or you're just like
gosh, for
eager
me,
to
it
see the product
really.
like beginning to end process?
I I think I really enjoyed the process of making sourdough because it's really,
Mm,
and it's funny because like this pandemic has just made everybody a sourdough artisan. So it's like,
mm,
that's so cool. I love that. But um it's such a process, and understanding the science behind it is really neat.
mhm.
Knowing that you're literally making something so amazing, something so nutritious out of two ingredients is
Mm.
mind blowing to me.
Is it two ingredients? Is that why it's vegan? Oh my
Yeah, it's
goodness.
all it's just flour and salt. That's it.
Wow. Oh
Yeah,
my
and
goodness.
time. Lots of time.
Wow. Yeah, so I've never
Yeah.
bothered to find out. Like I, of course, am a fan of sourdough bread. I'm vegan, so I always, I know that that's
Oh
vegan,
wow.
but I've never
Yeah.
figured out. I've never like paid attention to why. I'm just like, it's vegan, give it to me. Like,
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's amazing to know. Yeah, and when I don't know, if some people watch like traveling shows or
Mhm.
there was the Anthony Bourdain one, and now there's a bunch of like traveling stuff, but
Yeah.
they always make it a point to focus on how on food, right?
Hmm.
And like baked items. And so like I just recently saw this one show on Netflix and they were in Italy and they're like, oh, this is how we make the pasta, this is how we make bread. And it's like
Yeah.
so fascinating to see. So I can imagine,
Really.
like
Yeah.
what you're feeling as you're making it. Like
Hmm.
I think you really appreciate the art form in it,
Hmm.
and I'm not sure how spiritual you are, but for me, it'd be like, oh, thank you, like so much.
Yeah. Really. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I'm of the mind where it's like we're put on this earth for a reason, for
Yeah.
some specific reason, and
Hmm.
whether that's tied to religion or not, whatever
Hmm.
you want to call it.
Right. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's definitely a spiritual thing, and it's very therapeutic for me.
Yeah. Good.
Because I was in school and work, and both of those were extremely stressful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being a
Mhm.
parent student is
Yeah.
probably like the hardest thing. I wouldn't wish that on my enemy, my worst enemy. So
Mm.
hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I can
But
imagine.
when I
Yeah.
would be really stressed out, I would always, my husband would know when I was stressed out because I'd be baking.
Mm.
And so
Is he
he'd come
punching the
home,
Dell
like,
or?
like I'd be sitting there, like, eyes glazed over at the computer, and there'd be like bread and macarons over there. And he'd be like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, just go eat. Just leave me alone.
Oh, does he like protect your space, or is he like, kids don't bother mom right now?
Basically, apparently there's some
Oh.
kind of face that I make and like a weird hand motion that I do when I'm in thought. Yeah. You asked me about it.
Oh.
The craziest. Yeah.
Oh. Well, that brings us right into the next topic I have prepared for you here. Can you tell me some about the challenges in your business? It could
Um,
be about like, we were talking about how you wear so many hats. Like, not only are you the talent, you're the one baking, creating. You have to manage your social media, the business accounts, inventory. There's so
yeah,
much to it. And then there's like family, and then there's, school,
mhm,
everything.
right.
What do you find the most challenging about your current success and what you're working on?
Okay. I feel like one of the things, I guess on the surface, one of the things that's really difficult for me personally is building a website. If anybody
Yeah.
wants to help me build a website.
Yeah.
So that's like, I think that's probably something that I could learn to do. But on top of everything else, it's like the last thing that I want to do. And these last couple of times I tried, but it's, oh girl, I can't do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's like its own like there's people to do that, you know? Like
Yeah,
there's
really.
it's hard. It's hard. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm still like on the lookout for that person that'll help me with the marketing, that part of the marketing. And then also like really knowing which opportunities are the best. I like to try different things, but pretty much since October, since I got, it's almost like people knew. They were like smelling my permit and they were like, oh, I know it's coming. Like as soon as I got
We're
my permit,
all
we're like, here. And
we're
I was like,
ready.
so many opportunities.
The demand is higher than what you're ready for. Yeah. But do you
Yeah.
feel caught up, or you feel like you're getting a system down to
I'm getting a system down. Yeah, I am definitely learning, you know, what I do and don't like. And I've had to put my down a few times. And I like seeing that part of myself come out, because I'm learning that, you know, I can handle this, and this is exactly what I put on this earth for. So I'm ready.
Yes, I love that. Yeah. You're so encouraging. I love it. I think a lot of people can learn from you and get encouraged by you, because it is a very daunting, you know, challenge and task to think about, like, I want to do this, I'm doing it, but then there's so much coming your way that you're not really strong in, you know, like the marketing part, you know, everything, the scheduling, the being organized or whatever, all those extra stuff. How you said you dove right in, but you figured it out. And so I'm really happy for you. And we all should learn from that, you know? Like, even if we're scared or nervous about things, you know, I think that you're a great example of just diving right in. You said that, and getting it done.
Well,
Yeah, figuring it
I
out.
dove right in, but I'm a huge overthinker too. So like I'll dive in and I'll be just struggling away in the deep end and thinking hard about, okay, you know, I've made it this far, but then sometimes it just feels like I haven't made it anything at all, you know. But then I look at all the things that I've accomplished, and
and then the people are like waiting, like next market day, or what are you making next? So you're making a name for yourself. So even if it doesn't feel like it, you should know that you are. I mean, we're all noticing, you know. So
still quite surreal. Yeah, it's still quite surreal to hear my name out there, and people, like, I'll travel. I do, you know, traveling to Hanford. I go to Lacey Milling to pick up all my flour, and you know, I'll go into Lemoore where I used to live, and I'll meet people, and I'll be like, oh yeah, you know, I love what you're doing here. I'm always seeking out other businesses, and I'll introduce myself as the owner of TC Morsels, and they're like, you are?
Yeah.
You know who I am?
Oh
I'm
my
just a mom, you know, like, weird. Yeah.
Oh, that must feel so good.
It is, but it's weird.
Well, that's a product of you figuring out that one thing that you were, like, you know, most nervous about, the one, you know, like putting your name out there in the websites and managing the websites and the online and social media. You're doing it right, and people are hearing. So that's confirmation, right? That you're doing great.
I appreciate that.
That's so good. Yeah. What do you have? What would you say to can you offer any advice or encouragement to anyone who's in this position where, you know, they're nervous to start something new, they're very comfortable, they have these creative ideas or ambitions, but they're hesitant because of all of the unknown? Like, I have the talent, but I don't know what to expect, so I'm not going to do it now. Like, those people who are so hesitant, what do you tell them, or what can you tell them to just
Stop
go?
listening so much to your brain. Just stop listening so much to your brain. Don't overthink it. Basically, we're all starting there. We're all in that, like, I don't know what I'm doing mode. Like, I'm there every day. I'll wake up and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing today. But just remember that we're all starting somewhere, and it's okay to be scared. Don't overthink it, and just do it.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
also, when you're executing, take time to execute, but then also take time to step back and evaluate what you're doing. I think, who was it? Somebody advised me or gave me some advice recently that told me just, okay, I was telling my friend about this really big thing that was going on, and he was like, great. But now that you've got this opportunity, you need to step back. You want to execute, you want to hit those marks, but you've got to step back and think about, okay, is this the right thing? So I've been constantly like, hey, is this the right thing? Do I need to do this? Can I take it off my table? Is that X amount of dollars really going to make a difference?
Yes.
In family, in my life. It's not. Yeah.
Wow, that's actually great advice. I'm so glad. Thank you for sharing that. That's really good.
Thank you.
That's really, really good.
Yeah.
Do you have, let's see, we're gonna get to a point where you could do shout outs, but before we do shout outs, let's do a recap.
Okay.
So the floor is yours. If you want to do a couple of an introduction, a quick introduction to yourself. Tell us your name again, your business name, what you do, what you sell, and where to find you. So,
okay.
go for it.
All right. Okay. I am Jaqueline Hanson. I am the owner of Tasty Morsels Bakery. It's a micro bakery, which means that we don't have a physical location. I started out of my home kitchen and then got my permit and started getting busier. So now I can function out of Clovis Culinary Center off of Willow and Ashland here in Clovis. I also have 2 or 3 different farmers markets now.
3.
3 different farmers market locations. One is in Fort Washington across from Woodward Park in Fresno. The second one is Tesoro Viejo in Madera off the 41 going northbound. And then our newest one, I'm super excited, Clovis Community Medical Center Park. So those are the first 2 are Sundays alternating. And then the third one will be every Monday.
Awesome. And so can you explain about your social media? So your Instagram and your Facebook. Instagram and Facebook, both they have menu options, or they can see what you're selling and the dates of these farmers markets as well.
Okay, so let's start with the dates for the farmers markets. I have my Forestiere underground garden pop up this Friday, and that's from 5 to 8 p.m. I also have my bi-weekly appearance at Tesoro Viejo that is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. or until it gets too hot. Recently, we had to shut down early because it was way too hot. So, I mean, all of my markets kind of center around 9 to 1 p.m. Fort Washington and Clovis Community will be from 9 to 2.
Okay, so, awesome. Yeah.
And then social media. I'm on Facebook, TC Morsels. Just look me up. I think I have a picture of French macarons. I don't remember.
See.
And then I have
I have your I have that.
Thank you. There you go. That's what it is.
Is that what
I
it
just
is?
rebranded recently, so I added. I rebranded my sticker recently because I wanted to add more depth to it, and so that people kind of understand what they're.
God, it looks beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
So if somebody wants to put in an order online, so they're able to do that, where would pickup be?
So pickups would be, you can place an order through my Facebook page. There's a start order button that's linked to my Google order form, and you can either pick up from the Clovis Culinary Center on my prep days, which are going to be changing pretty soon. You can also do a pickup at either of my markets. You can do pickups at my pop-ups. If you know me well enough, you could do pickup from my porch, but that's pretty seldom.
That's special treatment, VIP status though.
For the VIPs. And also I can deliver for a fee, and I can meet up with you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that recap and information. I'll be clipping this part out and posting it on my Instagram and my Facebook page and all my platforms, LinkedIn, Twitter, all of it. It's all going to go on there.
Awesome.
And before we end and say goodbye, do you want to give any shout outs to the special people in your life that have helped you along the way, that you like love so much and everything? Who do you want to shout out?
Good. The list is endless.
Yeah.
For small businesses, I don't want to step on any toes. Honestly, like there are so many of you out there. Every single one of you counts in so many different ways. Y'all are killing it. Just keep going. Doesn't matter if you have your permit or not. If you're coming up, I'm here for you. My family, really, my husband, putting up with all of my craziness.
It's mutual, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've worn many hats, but then like just my husband putting up with all of the craziness. And,
yeah,
let's have another conversation about that. But my kids, my parents for teaching me the hustle. You know, my dad really, he was awesome. He was always in my corner. My mom was always working, and so my dad was really, really supportive of me growing up too. And he grew up with 2 girls, so you can just imagine 2 girls, and then my mom.
Yeah, wow.
And my in-laws, of course. Yeah, you guys are my family here, and just pretty much anybody else that I've met. I mean, I've met all of these amazing farmers. Yeah. It's a work of community and putting these ends together, and every single detail matters.
Yes. Oh, awesome.
I would say what Tasty Morsels is all about, then that would be it, like community and using our resources well, keeping our footprint small. Yeah.
Wow, I love that. That's awesome. Jaqueline, thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. I love our interview. You're so positive, and you have so much great, like easy and fun energy. I can't wait to taste all your stuff. And again, thank you for your time. Yeah. I'll be posting our video up on YouTube. I'll upload it tomorrow. I'll send you all the links, and then guys, I'll let you guys know on my social media platforms. I'm still building up my platform as well. But we do have a lot of local businesses already signing up to watch our stuff. So I can't wait for all of us to connect and get to know each other. So this is the purpose, and I love what you're about, all your values and morals, and the way you handle everything. I just want to tell you that you're amazing. And you should be proud of yourself, and we're rooting for you, and we can't wait to go try your stuff.
All right. Thank you so much for all you do too.
No, thank you. Well, you have a good night. We'll stay in touch, and I'll do a behind the scenes, guys, when I go to visit Jaqueline at her market, and I'll eat in front of the camera. So you know, I'll do like a live, like tasting and reviewing and stuff. So
those are so fun. I can't wait.
I know, it's so hot. Thank you. It's so hot out there, but I hope that I'm pretty sure that it still gets busy out there, the markets.
It does. Yeah, we have waves.
Yeah, and then fall's coming.
People too.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah. We're going to be in touch. This is not the end. We'll be visiting with you a lot, so stay tuned, you guys. We'll be visiting and catching up, keeping up with Tasty Morsels in the future. So thanks again.
You so much, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Have a great evening, guys.
Bye. Bye.